Hello, 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 everyone. It's Kim from K&RP on a mainly cloudy day in southeastern Manitoba. The current temperature is -9 Celsius with a -18 wind chill factor. So winter is definitely back for the next little while. And it is that, which means it's 17 Fahrenheit and 0 with the wind chill factor. So it's great start to a weekend that you just want to stay home and drink hot chocolate and read. Yesterday on my live, I was trying to use up my scraps of construction paper and my napkins. So I was gluing them down and I created some wonderful tags. These are ready to go straight into the journals. This one I was thinking actually would be fun if I cut out a strawberry shape, put some leaves on the top, paper or fabric leaves, and then it could be a flip up, a strawberry shaped flip up in a journal. So this one's not straight by any means. I'm going to leave it as it is until I decide what I would like to do. So I've got a whole bunch of tags and little stuffies ready to go. Out of the heart napkin, I glued the hearts down. These ones aren't going to be decorated any further. They're just going to be tucked into pockets. I have all these lovely little bits. Um, just they're very cute. I figured I could just leave them on a page. People could put a word on them if they want. I did do a word, so just to give you an idea what it would look like with a word in it. Very cutely framed word instead of just constant rectangles, that kind of thing. This is on a more natural floral. It just gives a really bit of whimsy to your journals when you have little bits like this in. So I was really glad that I could use up bits of that. I'm nowhere near empty, even this little box of bits. Nowhere near. But I'm getting there. It's getting there. So these ones I am going to put, not with those, in a separate envelope. Look, I'm organizing. If I can open the envelope. And that way I know that I can use them as an embellishment. They're all this shape, or I can just use them as are. These kinds of little words, if you've got just bits of white coffee paper, even coffee dyed paper strips, if you took a marker and you printed the words that you like to use, cut them out, you've got them to use. Again, using up scraps gives you ready fodder or ephemera, whichever word you want to use. I still have all these glued down, but I used wet glue yesterday evening instead of the glue stick. I really prefer the wet glue. So of course, then I had to wait for them to dry. They're a little bit curly. So I will cut those out probably over the weekend. And then I glued those little pictures down and I said, oh, I'll make them into envelope clusters. So I've made an envelope cluster with some flowers. And with the coffee beans, I used greens because I didn't want to mix them with the other colors. And more coffee beans. So I've got, little envelopes. These ones, I just glued the napkin down onto the whole paper and made the whole thing into an envelope that I could use with the napkins. So these are ready to go. If I decided to add a little stamp or something when I put it into the journal, so be it. But right now, I would consider these, I could just pick them up and glue them in. And then also, when you do these wonderful little clusters, if you just glue down and across, you can still have a tuck out of, so then you've got the 4 little places and something for something bigger on that page. The construction paper folded like this isn't all that thin. So when you're doing the clusters, if you don't want too much bulk in your journal, try only to have, like a couple of them on top of each other. This one does have the 3 just at this point, but I think that'll be okay. These ones I just folded origami style so that people can unfold them and write on the inside. So that was what I managed to get done with my scraps yesterday. It was fun. Definitely had fun. I feel that the way that was the day yesterday was spent, I actually accomplished a fair bit because I managed to make all these things ready to go instead of just having them in bins waiting. Because when you've got this stuff and it's ready to glue in, instead of when you're working and you go, oh, I would like to have something like this, if you've already got it, it's so much easier than having to construct everything per page. So yeah, use up some of the napkins. I still have a fair bit of napkins sitting here to use, but that's okay. The piles have definitely gone down. These, I figure if I just have them sitting on the desk, if I've got leftover scraps of gel prints or something else I'm working with, I can just glue them down, throw them in the bin, and have them as ready to go as well. The nice thing about these is because it's such a nice plain paper, I could just use them straight as tucks instead of sometimes you get the paper that's got a whole bunch of paint and stuff on the back because you've worked right on the piece. I do make my own line paper, etc. But yeah, so I was going to show you those against, a little heart or something against just a white page. I could do a corner tuck like this. It would be wonderful. Something different and whimsical. That one can go away. Today I thought it's day 5 of my scrap busting. I don't know about you, but I even consider my boxes of blanks as scrap because even though they're all cut to ATC size or 3x4s or 3x5s or back ready to be decorated, it's scrap until it's totally complete. So I pulled out some of the cards from a journal card box. I've been using these lately when I've been playing along doing the prompts with Becca or other people. I'll put 3 or 4 of these down and I'll use their prompts, then they'll be done. I have this one that I started painting. I've got, little flowery things on, another painted piece. I figured if I got the circles done, then whatever, just do it. And then I just have one that's covered in napkin, one that I've already started to decorate. I kind of got to an impasse on it, didn't know where I wanted to go. And then I've got this one that I had cut a hole out of. Now you're probably thinking, well, she's cut a hole out of it. Now what? I'm going to show you what I do when I cut a hole out of a piece that's already done. Unfortunately, I used, well, not unfortunately, but I have a 2-inch hole cutter, and I'm not sure. I think it's a Fiskars. In fact, I'm pretty sure. So it's one of those squeeze ones. Hi, Pam. How you doing? I'm just kind of going through scrap busting, and I've got bins of stuff that I need to use and get finished off. So I'm just kind of showing what I do with. I'm just playing. And hopefully people get ideas from how I'm playing. Yeah, this week I've been on every day. Next week I think I'm going to try and do a schedule of Tuesday and Friday at the same time. I really liked the little mouse you did last night. He was so cute. So I've punched a hole out of this. And I'm going to use this as a journal card or a text, what have you. But I think I'm going to do this so that the hole is at the top, so that when you stuff it into a pocket, this isn't getting damaged. So I am going to back this with another piece of paper with a hole in it eventually. So I'm just going to take my hole punch a hole. Again, narrow edge. I think I found a way to combat that too, other than using like a die cutting machine or whatever. This way people could just have regular paper and cut holes out of them. So then I've got a couple of pieces of scrap gel prints or painty papers or something. So I'm just going to put them back to back. And I'm going to take my maple leaf punch. It is a Recollections. And I am going to punch two opposite leaves. You know what? I want this side on. That way I can see where it ends. So I'm just going to punch some leaves. And can I get one over here? Maybe from this one. Okay, so then I have some leaves that I can play with. These ones are back to back for a reason. I am going to take these two and I am going to use a piece of, I guess I'm going to use crochet cotton because it's what's beside me. Because I hadn't thought that far through when I decided what I was doing today. So just regular thin doily like crochet cotton. I'm going to take a piece. So then I'm going to glue these leaves. I'm going to glue one leaf. If I can open the glue. Oh no. I was just using it. That's what happens when your glue bottles get old. I need to clean the lid. That's okay. So I'm going to glue this one. Then I'm going to take this crochet cotton and I'm going to lay it across the middle like this. Then I'm going to put some glue on this one down the middle. And I'm going to lay them on top, because remember I cut it so that it was a front and back kind of thing. And it's going to be glued to my paper, so I have to lift it off. So now I can go around the edge with a black marker or whatever. I don't know. Can you see? I've got a dangly maple leaf. Oh, thank you, Pam. And then I'm going to take my card and I'm going to flip it over. And as I said, I want this from the top. And I think I want this leaf to look like it's falling. So I'm going to go like this and take just a little piece of Scotch tape. I love the cards with cutouts in them. I think they're so much fun. So I just took a little piece of translucent tape. Put a little piece there. Now the edges are trickier because you don't want them to show. So I'll put it there and then trim it right away. So then you can see in the hole, let's put that on camera, you have a leaf hanging in the hole. So I'm just going to trim these down. Throw the scraps away. And I'm going to use this on this side just to help keep this string in place. So I don't need much of this. I'll trim it down once it's glued on. And then I will eventually, and if this edge is nice and it stays nice, I won't bother backing it with something total. I could just leave it half and half. So I'm just going to put glue down. Make sure you've got your edges. Your daughter's sure cute. She really wants to be a part of your videos, it looks like. Do you have her on as a guest often? Like when you're doing things, does she craft along beside you on your lives, Pam? That was my teacup. Didn't go. So there you have it. You've got a card with a strange element of the hole. I will go around with a black marker and edge that. And then the other leaves that I cut, I'm just going to glue down onto the front of the card. I think I've got 4 leaves, actually. What did I cut out? 3? 1, 2. I have 3 leaves. So then, as I say, just tuck it into a pocket. So does she feel like she's a video star? I'm sure that would make her age group feel like they really belong. Blue is very wet, very tacky. So that's how I do my punch cards. I'm not sure if I saw that somewhere, if I just decided to do it. So again, scrap card. These I don't think will actually show very nicely on that. The colors are too similar. So I think I'll just edge this. This isn't bad. The backing, like the back I can leave as is. It's not all mucky. Oh, very cool. Very cool. And after she watches your videos, does she suggest that you and her do that kind of piece together? Okay, so I've run a black marker. I'll do the edges as well. Yeah, I miss having little kids in the house. Even my grands are too big to play like that anymore. So I will consider this one done. Whoever gets it can, add to it or... Okay. So now one of the other favorite things I like to do... Do I dare do this? I have paper towels someplace. There it is. Some days when I do mass making, I will do 15 or so, but I'll decorate the fronts as well. Sometimes I wait until I'm putting it into a journal to decorate the front, but then it stays in my scrap work pile. Do you know how that works? And when you do things like this and you cut the holes out, then that goes into another scrap pile to be used for something different, right? It just really, really never ends. Really. Okay. I'm not fighting with that. So this one has been sitting in that box for a very long time. It's a piece of cardstock with a napkin on it. I haven't used napkins for a very long time. You're doing some stitching in the hoop. Right. Right. You showed us your son's stuff last night because hers was upstairs or downstairs or on a different level. I'd love to see her work. She's at the age where she could be really creative with what she's doing. But, I just love that age for stuff. So this napkin tore, and I have a big white torn spot here. This looks goofy. It's part of the napkin. I'm not sure if it's a flower beneath, what it is, but I'm not really overly fond of this piece of it. So I am going to cut that off. Let's see if I can rip it with my ruler. It's just a tag. It's just going in. Good. And I'm going to throw that away. Yes, I could use it for something, but I've got enough. Awesome. So then with this, I am going to punch. This is just a regular hole punch like you would use for putting in a binder for school or the tops of tags. I'm going to punch a hole. I don't measure, so I'd say that's about, let's even measure it. 3/4 of an inch to center. I'm eyeballing it. Okay, so this has holes in it. So now I'm going to take, I don't have something fun right here. I've got great ideas, but I don't always prepare very fast. I've got this one. It's done on a piece of poster board, so I'm going to take that one. And I'm going to take something completely different. But I will try and match. At least that's got oranges. Sorry, I have bins of stuff. You know what? I'm just going to use solid yellow construction paper because I've got some right here. And that's fine. So from this one, I'm going to cut 2 1-inch holes. 3 if I'm lucky. We'll do 2. That's okay. So I've got 2 1-inch holes. And then I want to use, this is a 5/8 hole. They're both by Recollections. And this one I have to fold because this punch doesn't always like to punch. There we go. So I'm going to use the glue stick, my dreaded glue stick. I don't like glue sticks. And I'm going to take one of these yellow holes, yellow punched circles. So I guess I am still using up scrap, even if I am creating more. And I try to get it, I either try and get it totally in the center nicely, or I try and get it way off center. The off center I find looks kind of fun. Depends on what I am doing with what kind of background is the card. So I have produced little circles with a frame is what I'm trying to get at. So now I'm going to look for a piece of ribbon that I think I'm going to use the purple because it matches the purple in the card. And I'm just going to cut it roughly the length of the card itself. Then I'm going to take these, stack them on top of each other. Oh, nice. I'll have to watch for that. I love to see when kids create and what they create. I have so much of my grandchildren's art and my own kids' art still in my house. I think it's because it's so free and they're so creative and free. So now I'm just going to try and punch a hole in the center of those yellow. It's not going to be dead center because I think, when you line them up, they're a little, pretty good. Pretty good. And I'm not going to throw out those little punches because, I'm going to use them. So with the ribbon, I'm just going to take it and put it through one of the holes. And I'm going to take wet glue because I find that the wet glue works much better for this. I'm just going to stick that ribbon down in the wet glue on the back. Again, I'm probably going to put a backing on this, lined paper or something, maybe something a little bit more solid and sturdy, like a cardstock, because of the ribbon, and if somebody's writing on that. These, and I am going to go through the back onto the ribbon. I'm going to do both of them from the back so that you will have these cute little slidey things on the front. Then the rest of the ribbon, the other end, I'm going to put through the other hole, and I'm going to pull it quite snug. Not to the point where the card is bending. You just want it to be, the ribbon's just a little fat, but that's okay. And then you glue down the other end. Oh, nice. Do you share those kinds of things with your grandparents? If her grandparents are involved? I know I love to see when my grands are doing things. So then this card, I also could consider done. I could also put something on this side, maybe a really tall cat reaching out to play with these things. But for now, once I've got a back glued on this one I will consider done and put in my bin of ready to use items. And I like the way this edge ripped. I wonder if maybe I should rip the other edges, or is it going to be too hard? No, I'll just leave the one raw edge. Okay, so that was number 2 of things that I like to do on my tags and cards, just to make them a little bit different. This one actually, because the ribbon is so much bigger than the hole and it's kind of tucked in, isn't lying as flat as I like, but that's okay too. Everything's different. Right, that's right. I remember you saying last night, your mom will go, well, I watched your video. Yeah. I don't know what my mom would think about me videoing. So now I've got these ones that I would like to decorate. Let's work on the circular ones. Do you do any circular work for your journals? What I've been doing a lot of times is I'll decorate them and then I'll cut them in 4 and use them, or half, so that it's, let's not dump that on the floor. no craft lunches, please, is if I've got a card and I've only got half of it on, and then I can cut the other half into the quarters, right? Like half and half. And then I'll put them on 2 other cards and have them in the same grouping, like in the same pocket, or at least in the same journal, so that you've got like a set. I'll do this with big flowers that I make. Yeah, anything round. I like to split it up. You do a lot more like fabrics and fiber arts, right? With all your sewing and everything. I really need to get my sewing machines fixed. I miss sewing. I used to, and I guess I still do, is I make a lot of stuff for Christmas. That's the way my kids grew up, handmade. My grandkids are now teenagers. They like the handmade, but they're preferring gift cards now so that they can get games and what have you. And I understand that. That's fine. They still appreciate getting quilts and that kind of thing, but that's a lot of quilts to make in a year if you're keeping everybody equal. So I miss having my sewing machine because I would do, tea towels and fake paper towels, those ones, flannel on the back, cotton on the front, sewn just serged together and, same size as a paper towel. What I grew up with as rags, but, have to use the common jargon. So I think with these, I wonder what I've got in the way of that's for this glue. Bad for covering my glue. I'll fight with that one. So I don't really know what I want to do. This one, I'm thinking I'm going to paint some flowers on. Just some, what color do I don't even have. I'm going to grab some paint. I will be right back. Well, I'm still in the same room. I just have to go across it. Purple. Metallic white. Today's kind of a purple day, I guess. We will move these. And I will use this. So I've got, it's Craft Smart Purple. So I believe that's a Michael's paint. The rubber band keeps breaking. It keeps something. Keeps falling off. Pins to help keep them in place. Interesting. Now this paint doesn't want to open. There we go. This is a Artist Loft metallic white. So I'm just going to do this. And I'm just going to do fast, quick flowers because we're not here to paint. So this is probably, it's a flathead. And it's not quite half an inch. 6/8. 3/4. No, it's not 3/4 of an inch. Anyway, it's bigger than a quarter and less than a half. So I'm just going to double dip. Corner in each color. And I'm just going to do swirls like this. So with the white on top, purple on the bottom, do a top round and a bottom round. Nice, fast, easy flowers. Oh, you know what? Maybe I'm just going to put that as an entire tuck in a journal. Kind of liking it, just the way it is. Just getting a little bit more purple for more depth. Hi, Anne. How are you? Oh, that's okay. I was just rambling on about the stuff that I got from out of using the napkins and the stuff yesterday. And then I did a couple of fun journal cards. And I'm just trying to use up my stuff, Anne. Just trying to use up my stuff. So I figured since I had this, I've got circles, lots and lots of circles. I love circles. So I figured I would just do a quick bit of a paint on that. Then I've got Craft Smart gloss acrylic paint, green. It's very watered down. That's black. Very liquidy, but that's okay. And I'm going to put just a little bit of Craft Smart brown. Don't know if it's an umber or sienna or who knows. And right away we got a paint booger. What happened to my paper towel? There it is. I don't know. What are you using? Are you using some sort of a glue or something? That's really a good question. Did you use like a oh my goodness, there, we got rid of that blob. I will have some definite muck water. So I'm gonna so you're keeping the rubber bands in place with pins. What are you putting them together with though? Like, so again, mostly in the green, just a hint of the brown. And I'll just do some leaves. So for doing the leaves, again, flat brush, green and brown. I like the brown to the top. And I just do some zigs and zags. The idea is just to give more of a hint than I love Fred and just wrapping the rubber band around. So were you pulling them tighter? So I think I am just going to leave on camera. I'm just going to leave this as it is. And when I glue it in, I'm just going to glue it so that it's a tuck spot. Hey, Paula. Nice to see you. I'm still using up scraps. So I'm just in my card bin. So I've done that one. I did this one with the punched out hole with a maple leaf. And this one with the little slidey things. So still using up bits. That's day 5. Oh, thanks, Anne. They're so simple. They're so simple. You just take a flathead brush. You dip half in one color, the other half in the other color. I like using the light color on top. And then, don't know how well you'll see it on the white, but we'll try. You put it down and you do an arc and an arc. And you get little, was I on camera? Just an arc and an arc. And you get nice little, very simple, flat brush. And if you use a smaller one, of course, you get much littler ones. It's the two colors that really give it the, you know. And then, of course, you could do another one down here so that it looks like there's another petal coming. And then, of course, for the leaves, the same thing. Mainly green, a little bit of brown, 2 shades of green, a little bit of yellow, whatever. And then you just go up the sides. Oh, big blob of water. And it just finishes it off. Really simple. Yay! Hopefully you came away with something today. Aside from me cursing my glue sticks. So as I say, I'm just going to use that straight in the journal as it is, as a tuck. I will edge it in black marker, of course, because that's what I do. This one, I'm not sure what I want to do with the circle punched out again. Okay, so I punched out a 2-inch circle using my big punch. So now I've got that circle that I have to do something with, wherever it may be. It's a 2-inch circle that needs to get decorated, so I'm actually making more stuff to make stuff with. This is why I end up with so many bits, is because everything I do leads to something else. So, okay, so I punched the circle out. Then I put 2 pieces of paper, front to front, back to back, whatever, so that you've got 2 of them. And I punched it out with my maple leaf. Put glue on the back, ran a string through, put the other leaf opposite. Yeah, twofers. Yeah. Except now I've got maple leaves I have to use too. And I thought, oh, maybe I'd put them on the card, but you can't see the blessed things. So, more stuff. So you run the string down, put the other one on, stretch it across the hole, and then have another piece of paper with a hole in it. This was, I just cut off a hunk of envelope lining, cut a hole in it, and backed it so that it holds the string in place. So you could put anything in here. I've put like a 1-inch circle in, and then decorated it, painted it, did it. I used some of those diamond dot leftovers. I've got friends who do diamond dots. They've got all these little bits left over, so they come here. So again, like the thing being is when you do this, you have to consider that it's going to be the top of the card, because if you're sticking it in and out of a pocket, this isn't the most solid, right? Like it's pretty fragile. I have done trying to figure out how to do it in the middle of a page. So I thought maybe if I took my punch, folded the paper in half, me and my halves, right? Cut out the circle from the middle of the page. Then you open it up. And then I could have it more in the middle of the card or the journal page. I do this in my journals too. I punch holes in the pages and put things in. But if it was in the middle of the card, it's just, trying to get it away from the edge and making sure that you get an exact circle or something, Yeah, I don't do the diamond dot stuff. Like I say, I just have friends that do it. And one of my girlfriends brought me, she's got them all separated into little containers or little plastic baggy things. And I must have 1,000 of them. So anyway, I would use a circle and then I would put bling on it. And it's just something totally different. And like, I'll do it, as I say, in the middle of a journal page. Just the whimsy, right? I like the whimsy. It'd be really cute in there. Like a mask, little. Could be kind of creepy though. Anyway, 2-inch circle if you've got it. 3-inch circle, depending if it'll fit, whatever you're going for. And then, as I say, I do these ones with the little sliders. A little Buddha could be cute. Anything that will fit in the hole. I've got a smaller punch than this of maple leaves as well. Of course, I use maple leaves because I'm Canadian. And I've had like 3 strings going down. Limited by your imagination, right? Slidey bits, yeah. So what I did was punch 2 holes, stuck the ribbon through one end, glued it down, made these little washer-like things. I cut them out of scraps. And yeah, I could probably use this as a negative, whatever. And then I took just plain yellow and cut holes, punched a hole in the middle, slid them on. Using up scraps. And this was a napkin that I glued onto this piece of paper. But as I was saying, I'm going to put like something thicker, like a heavier cardstock on the back so that people could still write on the back. Unless I decorated these little bits up with something. And then I could do that too. Just put a little bling thing on, like one of these on either end. I might just do that. And then maybe a couple on the front. Okay. 3, done. Yay. All's good. I don't know how well they'd work. I mean, that would have to be through their bellies, right? I could do fat cats climbing things. I was saying maybe I would do a tall cat here with a paw going to play with those. And these don't really twirl. Like they do a bit, but I don't have them loose enough to twirl. So, yep. Toys. Okay. This has been sitting in that bin for quite a while too, because you do them and you have a great idea and then you get sidetracked. How about if I do like a bunch of falling leaves? Can I pick some more out? This is just a 1-inch maple leaf recollections punch. Can I get one out of the middle? Look, garbage. This one too, garbage. This one's going to go in the garbage too right away. No, I'll do it this way. Oh, maybe if I cut a circle out of the middle and I had all these dangling. I don't know. Okay, I've got maple leaves. How about if I do like a swaggy kind of thing? Oh, there we go. That's what I'll do. Yep. I have an idea. We can take some of this green crochet cotton. And I am going to take my liquid glue. I was thinking, Anne, about doing the texture one as well. I'm going to end up with a lot of leftover paints. Interesting painty papers coming up. So I dip my crochet cotton in glue, and I'm going to use it. It's not going to work like that. Okay, we'll do it this way. I'm making stems. And then I'm just going to follow the glue line with this cotton. Yes, use the finger tools. Get really mucky, messy. All's good. This is another way of making texture on things, of course. Of course. And it's a darn good thing this glue dries clear. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this because some of the greens are pretty close to what the paint color. And I don't even remember the paint color, so please don't ask. Something that I had years ago. Barbie doll clothing. Do you sell your Barbie doll clothing, Pam? One of the ladies that we both had space at the local museum, was making Barbie doll clothes, and she made a killing. Absolute killing selling Barbie doll clothes because nobody's really making them anymore. But they're such better quality. It's quiet. Am I missing anything? My kids had Barbie dolls. They cut all their hair off. I couldn't say anything because I probably would have done the same thing. Or, well, for me, the only time I played with my Barbies was when I was driving over them with the toy trucks. I preferred my Tonka trucks. Okay. This glue has dried on this one already, so it's not cooperating that end, but that's okay. Okay, off it goes. Done. Go away. It's too stiff. I started with the wrong end at this end. I will just do that again and take another piece of crochet cotton. I had an end. There's my end. Awesome. It probably looks better in a sarong anyway. Hey, Darcy. Hello, hello. Welcome to my channel. I'm just using up scraps. I've got so much stuff sitting around that I didn't know what I wanted to do with this goofy circle I made years ago. So I figured today's the day I'm going to use it. So I just ran some glue scribble along and used just some regular crochet cotton and went over the squiggles. And I have some little maple leaves I punched out of some painty papers. I'm going to add those on. The tags. Okay. Had another circle, decided that it needed flowers, painted flowers on them. Did this one with a hole in it. I love putting holes in things and stringing things. It's not a true dangle because it is affixed both top and bottom. And then I put a backing on just to make sure that the strings are held in place. And then this one, I punched a hole, put ribbon through, didn't glue this, didn't put that through the hole until I strung it with some little paper washer things that I made. And that's just napkin on cardstock. I usually put 3 on, but the little pieces of scrap that I pulled out held 2 holes nicely, 2 1-inch punches nicely. This one is something, these ones are in the bin to be worked on. So basically, I've done 3 tags. Oh, thanks. I'm just trying to use up stuff. And as I was saying, you do something like this and you punch the hole out. I don't know where it went, but I've got another one because I punched a hole out of another card recently. Then you've got the 2-inch circle that's already decorated because the card was decorated. Now you have that you've got to do something with. So you're just making more work. I probably have a lot of crochet Barbie patterns because I did a lot more crocheting then. So I'm just going to take these maple leaves, as I say, because I'm Canadian, and I'm just going to glue them down. That is glue that's white puddle here, so I'm just going to take a toothpick and scrape it up. Yeah, because I mean, the really nice thing with it being a circle is you could put holes in it and stitch it down like a button. You could put another couple of layers on it, and again, do like a little washer thing underneath it, use it as a button, and then use it as a tie around. We need something new? I don't know. I keep trying to think of something new too. And aside from on this one, I might, even though I say it's done, I might come back with some embroidery floss and do some X stitching down the side. Just something differently. I've been crocheting since I was 9. What do I do? Are you talking to me? What do I do? Did I miss something? Am I not catching on? These are things that I've crocheted recently. I made little peepers, and I do like miniature cats. These are my little miniature cats. And then I paint faces on them and put crochet cotton whiskers on them. This is stuff that these are left over from when I had my space at the museum. And then I've been doing these little birds, little peepers. Using beads and googly eyes. And I've got a whole flock of them. Oh, thanks. I come up with great ideas. I just have to play. Paula, I just need to do stuff. Thanks, Pam. My daughter talked me into the little birds. I do paper goonie birds, and I'm working on the patterns, ladies. And I do these paper goonie birds, and I want to bring them to life. So my daughter said, why don't you do little ones that you could hang from the Christmas tree? So some of them I did with chenille stem legs so that they stand up. But I never did do them to hang on the tree because I figured she would want them. And she said, no, she didn't want them because she's got cats, and she figured the cats would steal them because the cats absolutely love crocheted things. So they've stolen her kids' things that I've made them in the past. They just love crocheted stuff. They steal the Afghans, and I make heavy Afghans, and the cats steal them to cuddle up. And so anyway, she didn't want the crocheted birds. So now I've got a flock of these little birds, and I'm trying to decide what is going to happen with them. And then the kittens, I have friends and of course my own kids that would take them. Yeah, also to be frugal. Definitely. I have to be frugal. I've got so much stuff. I have been creating for so many years. My sister just messaged me and said, "Did you get the flyer for Fabric Land? They've got some wonderful sales on." It's like, I'm on a buying moratorium. I don't want to buy anything new. Owls, dollies, and spiders. I saw some really cool spiders that I want to do. I think that maybe I'll do one for my desk. Everybody else has pets. Maybe I'll have a crocheted spider. My daughter just asked me to do her a 6 foot long caterpillar or millipede or something. It's got 136 legs. So I picked up the yarn to do that. So I'm going to be working on that as well as trying to level this. Are the owls flat or are they like stuffies? Because I've done some flat owls and used them as keychains. And ladies, I really have decided these are just not, I won't be doing it again. I have to. Yesterday evening, I used liquid glue with the napkins, but then I had to wait for everything to dry. What would be fun? Oh, that would be cool on a dream catcher kind of display. Flat owls. Ooh, look, I've got these little. I'm just gluing the leaves down, but it's almost like it's twirling. You know how you get those dotted lines and the leaves were swirling? I think that's what this is going to affect. Going to be kind of with the maybe. Well, she found a pattern for the giant caterpillar. So I am not taking any sort of credit for it until, just the fact that I can do it. But he's huge, 6 foot long caterpillar. And this is for my daughter that's going to be 40 next year. I don't have young'uns. No, that was my niece that was talking about the other one. That was talking about the one we were discussed the other day. Yeah, well, So does that look like swirling leaves? Did I give is that the effect I got? So now this one, I'm going to cut in half, and then the other one half will be quartered, and then in half, and I will put them on the page so that, I've got half on this page and then a couple corners on the other page. Or not? It's Friday, Paula. So I will consider this one done as well. Look, I've got 1, 2, 4 things done while we were chatting today. It's better than the average of the other days, that's for darn sure. So I showed you how I make my fast, simple flowers and leaves that I did on this one. Aside from that, the background was just, I had some plastic needle point canvas, and I just dabbed paint through with a sponge or a stencil brush. And it's on book page, backed by a piece of cardstock. So this one is going to be just a tuck in a journal. I'll just do an L-shaped glue so that I've got a tuck spot. This one's going to go in just as it is, unless I do decide to do the stitching. And if I do that, I would probably use blue to pick up the blue little bit there. You know that that's what's going to happen. This one, as I said, I'm not sure if I want to do a tall cat or maybe a lady in a long dress or that. And this one is going to get cut, so it'll be 3 pieces in one journal that kind of match just to keep the flow. Oh, what did you do to your foot? Oh, you fell. This one's pretty. This one, that's a napkin. I did way back. I covered a whole bunch of cardstock and stuff in my napkins and was going to use them on the circle repeated with the stamp line. This one. I don't know. That one's stamped. I'm lost. Yeah, it's supper time, and I have been on for an hour and a quarter. I like to stay on for about an hour. So thank you all very much for being here. Have a relax now, Paula, Friday night. Pour yourself some wine. Yeah, those are just, it's fun. Anything. Thanks for coming. Love you all. Hope to see you again. I will be streaming Tuesdays and Fridays at 12:45. If you want to pop back, thanks. Take care. Have a fabulous weekend and stay warm. Bye.